What's up, Periscope? Ty Cran. So I was out last week. I was actually out of town, so I missed you all, but I am credit. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be diving in and talking about one of the steps, what I call step 4 of building your business credit, which is how to get store credit cards, or sometimes referred to as tier 2 credit. So the way that I look at credit, and everybody breaks it down into different tiers, is that when you're building business credit, you have initial business credit accounts, or tier 1. These are vendor credit accounts. These are credit accounts that you can get even if you have absolutely no credit established. Now, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming. And then we've got the next step, and that's store credit cards. These are store credit cards at most major stores. Hello, thanks for coming, Prince. Hello, thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate you guys coming. Missed you last week when I was out of town. So with store credit cards, you can get approved for, Tractor Supply, Office Depot, Quill, Costco, Sears, BP. Most major retail stores offer corporate credit for your EIN that's not linked to your SSN. It doesn't require a personal credit check, doesn't require a personal guarantee for approval. Then once you get enough of those, then you move on to fleet credit cards. Then you move on to store credit, or to cash credit cards, Visa cards, MasterCards that you can use anywhere. So in this process today, we're going to be decoding how you can get store credit cards, how you can get the BPs and the Chevron and the Sunoco's and the Costco and Amazon. I mean, most of what you need to buy for your business, you're going to buy at some kind of retail location. Well, those retailers offer corporate credit that's not linked to your EIN, that's not linked to your SSN, and it's linked to your EIN, doesn't require a person. Make sure to give some people a few minutes to kind of pour in. What we're talking about here is business credit. What we're talking about is credit that's linked to your business EIN number that's separate from your personal Social Security number, okay? And we're really mapping out these 5 steps to be able to get all the way through to get cash credit for your business. Now, again, a lot of benefits here. There's no impact on personal credit. None of this credit reports on your personal credit reports. It reports on your business credit reports. Another huge benefit is that you use this credit, it won't affect your utilization, and there's no credit inquiries because it doesn't report on your consumer credit, and there's no credit pull to get approved, which means no matter how bad your credit is, you can still get what we're going to be talking about today. And you're not personally guaranteeing any of these accounts I'm going to talk to you about. You're not personally liable for what's going on in your business because they're separate. Once you separate your credit profile, you're not liable for what happens in your business with your credit profile over here, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about how to get done. And also don't forget, this is credit you're able to get really fast. Now, 2 weeks ago, we talked about getting vendor credit. Credit you can get right away. And those were Uline, Quill, Monopolize Your Marketplace, Seton. And then we are talking today about store credit cards. How you can get this kind of credit at most major retail stores without the personal credit check, without the guarantee, and it takes about 60 days to get to this stage. Thank you guys very much for the loves. I really appreciate that. Then next, you get fleet and cash credit cards. This takes about 90 to 120 days total from starting to build your business credit on how to get there. And again, today I'm going to map out the steps on how to do this. So another benefit here is that these accounts have very high limits. As you can see by some of the real approvals we track here on Periscope, $15,000, $20,000, $40,000 approvals. I'm going to show you how to get those kind of approvals today. The limits are 10 to 100 times higher than what you'll normally see with consumer credit, and that comes directly from SBA themselves. And another cool benefit of what you're going to learn today is that you could be a startup, you don't need collateral, you don't need cash flow, you don't need good personal credit, you don't need any of that to get approved. As a matter of fact, the only way you can get money for a business if you don't have good credit, collateral, or cash flow. Now remember, we've talked about this weeks ago. And the 3 C's of lending are cash flow, credit, or collateral. Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming. I think it's Paul. Paul, welcome. Thanks for coming. So cash flow, credit, or collateral. You have to have one of these to get a business loan. You either have to have cash flow verifiable per bank statements or tax returns, good personal credit, 685, 700 credit scores or higher, or some kind of collateral. If you don't have any of that, you can't get a business loan, but you can get this kind of credit, as I'm going to map out for you today. So it's the only kind of business credit's the only way, if you don't have cash flow, collateral, or credit, that you can actually get money for a business. It doubles your borrowing ability because you have 2 credit reports. It's the only legal way to do this. You have a credit report for your business, you have a credit report for you as an individual. Okay, if you use a CPN number, that's bogus. All you're trying to do is fool somebody into thinking that that CPN number is this number. It's illegal too. You can't do it. But you can do business credit legally because your business can have its own credit profile the same as you do. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. Also, it increases the value of your business and gives you a huge competitive advantage because it gives you access to a lot of capital and the inside knowledge of how to build business credit, which most of your competitors don't know. And it makes you more lendable. You can get approved. How much you get approved for, the rates and terms you pay are all based on your business credit scores. It's that simple. So we've looked at a lot of business credit reports on our live streams. And when we look at these business credit scores, if you pay your bills as agreed, you can get a good score. So it's very fast to build business credit because all you need to do is pay your bills as agreed and you get a good score. Okay, so with business credit, it makes it easy for you to get approved for business credit, and it makes you more lendable because the higher your score, the better rates, the better terms, the more money you get approved for. And it's also important because anybody can see your business credit report. In these live streams, we pulled a lot of credit reports, and we're probably going to start using Credit Safe in the future to pull credit reports because I can't pull them through Experian anymore. They don't like the idea that I'm in the business credit space, but we have Credit Safe. We've worked with Credit Safe for a long time, so we'll be able to pull some Credit Safe reports, which is another reporting agency, and see what kind of information is on there as well in the near future on these streams. So if you're attending, we'll even be able to look at your own individual business credit report. So a lot of benefits. Business credit. I mean, you don't need cash flow credit or collateral. It doesn't have any impact or report on your personal credit report. It's fast. The limits are high. It doubles your borrowing ability. It makes you more lendable. Something everybody should want to do, but very few people know how to do. So what we're going to do today, and if you want a guide that maps out what we're talking about, you can get it right here, creditsuite.com/Facebook. If you want your own free copy of your Credit Safe report, go to creditsuite.com/consult and we can get you that there as well. So far we've talked about the first 3 steps of building business credit. Setting up your business credibly, making sure you have a real business address or you're using a virtual address, your home address as last resort, getting a real business phone, making sure you have a website, your professional email address, trying to set up your entity as an LLC or corporation to separate your liability. Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming. And getting your licenses, making sure your listings are all congruent online. If you want more information on that, you could definitely go to our Facebook page and check out. Welcome, Steve. Thanks for coming. You could check out one of our other videos that we've done earlier in the last few weeks. Then the next step is you want to see if you get set up with a reporting agency. You can go to creditsuite.com/reports, and on this link you can click there for Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. Do a quick search of your business and see if they know anything about you now. And about 4 weeks ago, we actually went over and I showed you how that process works. If they pull up some kind of result, they have some kind of report, it might make sense for you to actually pay to get your reports. Or again, just go to creditsuite.com/consult, schedule time to talk with us, and we'll help get you a free copy of your business credit report that we'll even give you. Then, once you've set up your business credibly, once you've accessed and got set up with the business credit reporting agency, hello, welcome. I think it's Ravi. Welcome, Ravi, or Ravo. Welcome. So the next step is you want to start getting real usable credit. Now, Uline, Quill, Monopolize Your Marketplace, Gimplers, Seton. There's a Wells Fargo secured card that you need about $500 at least. Oh, SKS Skunder, welcome. It's your first day on Periscope. So that being said, once you make sure your business is set up credibly, once you come in and see if you're set up with the reporting agencies, the next step is to start getting real usable credit. Now there's a lot of vendors, and vendors offer net 10, net 30, net 60-day terms, which means if you give you a $500 credit limit for net 60, you have 60 days to pay back whatever it is that you're borrowing from them. Okay, there's a lot of sources that do this. Wells Fargo has a secured credit card. Seton, Gimplers, Quill, Uline, Monopolize Your Marketplace, Strategic Network Solutions, Granger. These all give you real usable credit. Now, the ones I recommend that I think are the best are Quill and Uline, because you can buy a lot of stuff here. They sell office supplies. You can buy a ton of usable stuff at both these places. Gimplers and Granger, they sell more outdoor type stuff. But I can buy batteries there, first aid stuff. There's a lot of stuff I found that you have the ability to buy there. Seton sells outdoor stuff like road signs and working equipment, etc. You're saying after having BP, Chevron, Valro, so it sounds like you've got a few accounts now. And Wells Fargo you can get as long as you put the $500 down, but they will do a personal credit check with Wells Fargo. So my recommendation to get 5, because you need 5 of these accounts to get to where we're going to talk about today, store accounts. You need 5 accounts. So I've given you a lot more than 5, right? There's 5, so there's like 8 there. You can choose any of them. My recommendation is to go to Quill and Uline, okay, get these guys, get Seton, get Gimplers and Granger. Those are the 5. Apply for Gimplers last. They're hard to get approved with. As a matter of fact, a lot of places people apply and get denied with them pretty early on until you have some accounts reporting. What is the recommended to apply after those? I'm going to show you here in just a second. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We're almost there. So these are some starter accounts. You need 5 total accounts. I've given you about 8. Uline, Quill, Gimpler, Seton, Granger. Those are probably the best ones to get. Once you have 5, then you can move on to most major retail stores. Now, as you can see here, these some stores, Staples, Amazon, Lowe's, Conoco, AutoZone, you just asked about which ones to apply for next. Sherwin-Williams, Macy's, Office Depot. What you want to do with these after you have these, you've got to get approved for these, use them, and pay the bill. Now, sometimes you might want to do 1 or 2 uses or 2 different months to do it, but if you use these accounts, if you get 5, 6, 7, 8 of these accounts, use them once, pay the bill, then you got to get your business credit reports to see if they're reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. Once you know you have about 5 of these accounts reporting because you verified it on your report, then it opens up most major retail stores. Most major retail stores will start offering you business credit. Now here's the kicker. If you don't want them to pull your personal credit report, you have to leave your social security number off the application. You can give them the application and not give them your social, and that forces them to pull your business credit, make the approval decision based on this, not make the approval decision based on that. That's exactly how it works. There's a couple secrets here I'm going to let you in on. The first secret is don't give your social. It's that simple. If you apply for any account for your business and you give them your social, they're going to pull your personal credit report. You're going to have a personal guarantee. If you don't want to do either one of those, then don't put your social on the application. There's no law that says you have to put a social security number on an application. There is a law that says you cannot put anything in place of your social security number on an application. Never do that. It's against the law. But you can easily fill out an application for business credit, leave your social blank, and then what you're doing is you're forcing them to pull your business credit report and score instead of your personal. And if you've done what we talked about and you have those 5 accounts reporting, they see those accounts. If you paid them as agreed, you have a good score. And with those trade lines reporting, with good scores, you then have enough accounts to start getting approved for actual store credit. But remember, there's a few keys here. Don't put your social security number on the application. Leave it blank or they'll pull your personal credit and make the approval decision based on your personal credit quality. So especially if your personal credit sucks, don't put it on the application. Don't put it on the application even if it's good, because then you'll have an inquiry on your personal credit report. Leave the social off the application. Second rule, don't skip steps. Get denied because they say, oh, you know what, Ty, I don't want to make sure my business is set up credibly. I'm just going to skip that step and start applying for credit. Here's the problem. You're not giving these guys your social security number, so they can't pull your consumer credit report. But if you have no business credit either, then what do you expect them to go off of? They have no business credit, they have no personal credit. So what they're going to do in step 3 is they're going to default and they're going to start going off of what is on the application, which is the credibility step. If you miss this step and you think you're going to skip it and get approved, in a lot of cases you're going to get denied here. But if you've made sure your business is credibly, then you can get approved here. But if you don't have 5 accounts and you try to jump up and start applying for store credit cards without a social, you're going to get denied. The reason you're going to get denied is because they need to see at least 5 payment experiences for you to actually start getting approved, leaving your social off the application. This business credit report needs to be deep enough and established enough for them to give you credit based on this, so they don't need this. The key here isn't to just not give them a social and not give them this and expect approval. The key is to build some credit here so you can not give them this, not give them this, and then make the approval decision based on what's here. And a lot of times what they're looking at is, do you have some accounts reported? Do you have some kind of depth of trades? And what is your score? Now remember, the benefit here, if we look at Equifax's credit score and somebody's saying, if all my vendor accounts are reporting on DUNS, does the store credit pull DUNS or Experian? They pull both. So stores pull Experian, DUNS, and Equifax. As a matter of fact, a lot of retailers pull Experian, a lot of banks pull Equifax, and some report with D&B. This is the problem with D&B's credit. I'm actually a fan of D&B's credit builder. I like the concept that they have. I think it makes sense. But the problem, the fault with it is that you only build credit on your D&B profile and score. That's an issue because lenders are looking at Equifax. Credit issuers are looking at Experian. So if all you do is build your D&B credit profile and score, you're going to get denied for a lot of credit. This is why you should have 5 trade lines, and this is why I strategically told you about these 8 sources like I did, because they report across the 3. If you've got a combination of these 8, they report some on Equifax, some Experian, and some D&B. That'll give you enough cross-pollination of accounts across all 3 reporting agencies to actually get approved with most credit issuers. So if you only have 5 on Equifax or 5 on D&B, well, what happens if somebody pulls Experian? You get denied. That's the problem. That's why I gave you those 8, because you want to have a nice combination or mix of D&B, Equifax, and Experian reporting, especially D&B and Experian, because that's what most credit issuers are going to look at for approval. Now keep in mind, again, as I mentioned, your credit score is based. So if you paid as agreed with Equifax, if you pay early, okay, as agreed, you get a 90 score. With Equifax or with D&B, if you pay as agreed, you get an 80 score. Okay, with Experian and Telescore, it works a little bit different, okay, because your scores are based on, kind of like FICO. 50 to 60% of your scores, payments balances. 10 to 15 is utilization. 10 to 15 is derogatory items. 5 to 10 is historical behavior. 5 to 10 is your age, your industry, and your size. But again, payment history is about 85% of this total score. 60, derogatory items is 75, historical behavior is 10, 85. So 85% of Experian is how you pay, 100% of D&B is how you pay, 100% of Equifax is how you pay. So what's important is that you get these vendor accounts, and then as soon as you get the bill, you got to pay that bill. If you pay the bill as soon as you get the bill from these after you've used them, then what happens is then you get good scores, and then you can start taking the next step. So remember, there's 3 steps to these accounts. 1, apply and get approved. 2, use the account. 3, as soon as you get the bill, pay the bill. Some of them, if you pay the bill before you even get it, some of them won't even report to the reporting agencies. So those 3 steps, get approved, use credit, pay the bill. Okay, as long as you're doing that, then you're going to be and start getting the store credit cards, to start getting credit at most major stores. And again, there's all different kinds of things you can buy at these type of places. And I want to see if I just have any copy of receipts here that show what I actually purchased. Probably not here, doesn't look like it. But for example, gauze pads, antiseptic spray, at Seton. So when you look at Seton, and I want to get to store credit, but this is an invoice for me for Seton. And you can see here's antiseptic spray and gauze pads. It's first aid stuff. Now what's interesting is if you actually look at Seton's website, Seton sells road signs. They sell all kinds of stuff that you may think that you would never use. Look at this stuff. Label markers, lockout, tag outs. I don't know what half this stuff is. Traffic and parking cones, tapes, tags, signs. You might look at this and say, well, there's nothing here I can even buy. But yeah, you can. They have all kinds of first aid stuff. So if you go to Seton, for example, and type in first aid, then you can find all kinds of different stuff on here that you could buy. The same with Granger. Okay, first aid instruments, first aid kits, first aid everything you could possibly imagine there. So there's things at all these type of places you could buy. Wound care. I mean, who doesn't get injured? Who can't use this stuff in the office? Everybody can use, Band-Aids and bandages and stuff like this. And there's a huge selection. So on the surface, when you look at places like Granger or Seton, there's not a lot of stuff that you may even think you can buy at these. You might even not think there's anything at these places you could buy. But again, there's tons of stuff. You just need to look a little bit deeper and you'll find it. So for Granger, for example, Granger sells a ton of stuff. And they sell a lot of outdoor stuff. Do you need lighting and do you need electronic stuff and this? Well, they also sell batteries. They sell Post-it notes. They sell Sharpies. And you can see here, this is actual recent stuff that I purchased to build trades with these guys, right? Here I bought, this was my last order, okay? These were Post-it notes and these were Sharpies and these were batteries. Well, that's stuff that we all need. So on the surface, and think there's no stuff you could buy, but there definitely is. Once you get 5 accounts, the next step is to start applying for store credit. CreditSuite.com reports will give you access. Once you've done so, then you can start applying with most major retail stores. Now, some of them will have more stringent underwriting requirements. So Lowe's is pretty easy to get approved with. Home Depot requires more time in business, more trade, so they're much harder to get approved with. Staples is easier. Office Depot is easier. Let's look at some actual real approvals here, and let me show you easier ones. Vendor account to start business credit. Vendor account to start business credit. Easy to get early on. Office Depot. Apple, easy to get early on. So is Dell. Chevron and BP, pretty easy to get with even 5 trade lines. Fleet card, not as easy to get. You're probably going to need more trade lines to start getting fleet credit. But again, I'm going to talk about that next week, how to get fleet and cash credit. Amazon, very easy to get early on in the process. So if you have about 5, 6, 7 accounts, then you can start getting the Amazon, the Apple, the Dell. You can get the Office Depot and the Staples. Okay, you can get the Chevron, the BP. Now, when we look here, Tractor Supply is fairly easy to get early on. So is BP. This is not. Shell is not. Apple's pretty easy early on. Exxon isn't. Office Depot is. Costco isn't. Sunoco isn't. Sears isn't. BP is. Sprint is pretty easy. Best Buy isn't. These are all fleet, cash, credit cards, and auto vehicle financing. None of that is easy to get either. So I just gave you a bunch of accounts that you can get pretty early on. Office Depot, Staples, Apple, Dell, Chevron, BP, Amazon, okay, Tractor Supply. A lot of those are pretty easy to get. Once you get about 5 of those type of accounts, the rest of these open up. When you hit about 10 total accounts reporting, then it's fairly easy to start getting almost everything here when it comes to store credit. Universal fleet cards open up for you. Fuel Man fleet cards open up. Exxon opens up, Costco, Shell opens up, Sears opens up, and then you start to get to cash credit cards and higher limits, as you can see here, which these are real approvals. You start getting Ford and GM offers auto vehicle financing, no personal guarantee based on business credit quality. These are cash credit cards. You start getting all that stuff, which we'll talk about next week. This is all trade lines, and this is where people get confused. So many people come to me and say, I have an 80 paydex score, what can I get? And I'm going to answer this question. After being approved with BP, Chevron, and Valrio, can I apply for Dell? Yeah, Dell's fairly easy to get approved early on. But this actually speaks to the point I'm about to make, is that this is trade lines. It's number of trade lines you have. That's what matters. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. I have people say to me, hey, look, I have an 80 paydex score. Who cares? That only means you pay your bills as agreed. It's needed. You need a good score to get approved. I came in late, so what to watch your replay? Awesome. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it, even though you're late. No problem. We do these at 4 o'clock every Wednesday. If you go to creditsuite.com/scope, you can access all of our previous Periscopes. And if you go to creditsuite.com, or if you go to Periscope and find us on Periscope, you'll be able to see this replay for 24 hours on there. So here's the key, and this is the most important thing to know. Paying your bills is important. Having a good score is important. Okay, but what's the most important thing is the number of trade lines you have. So I have somebody emailing me back and forth trying to sell expensive trade lines that they want to add to credit reports. Ty, man, great to see you from LA. That's awesome. I appreciate that. So a lot of people, and she's trying to sell expensive trade lines. Actually, he wants to give me trade lines and put them on our credit report for $1 million plus so we can do work for him and help him get cash credit. But we won't do it. And here's why. A trade line with a high limit, okay, it helps. but it doesn't really make a difference. What matters is the number of trade lines you have. You need to have 5 trade lines to get store credit. You need to have 10 trade lines to start to get the upper type of store credit that I just showed you. And to get fleet credit cards, cash credit cards, you usually need between 10 and 15 reported trade lines. Score matters, but trade lines, the number you have, what matters most. And what's wrong about this person trying to sell trades, what the issue is that if I look at somebody's credit report and I see $1 million something else, does that make sense? Does it make sense that somebody only has a $500,000 and $1 million trade line? Does employees? Does it make sense when I see that the company aren't stupid, they know what's what. And so they're going to look at an entire credit report. And if your credit report reflects that you have a lot of trade lines, that your limits are increasing the more approvals you get, that your employees are growing over time, that your business is growing in length as you're building trades, that's logical. That makes sense. But if you think you're going to slam trade lines on the credit report or do any of these shortcuts, it doesn't work because it's not logical. Your credit report shows your employees, it shows your revenues, it shows your profits, it shows all these things. And this is why number of trade lines matter, because you can't fake number of trade lines. You have to come in and get 5 trades to get to store credit. You need 10 trades to get to cash credit, fleet credit cards. And once you do that and start getting the trades, then you can start getting approved with most sources, because their computers go through an algorithm and they check this. They say, well, what's the person's score? Oh, it's this. They have business credit established. How many trade lines do they have? They have 10. Well, what are the limits on those trades? $100, $500, $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $7,000. Okay, that's a legitimate credit report. We're going to look at your highest trade line revolving account. It's $7,000. We're going to give you approved for 10. That's how it works. And their computers do all this automatic. So the way to do it is you got to have a number of trade lines. I just gave you 8 vendor accounts to get your initial 5. We just talked about, 10, 15 store credit cards you can use to get your another 5 beyond that. And then at that point, you're getting fleet credit and cash credit, which we'll talk more about next week, where you've got 10 or 15 trade lines. That's the key. It's number of trade lines, and paying those trade lines is agreed. So I'm going to wrap this up for today. So next week, next Wednesday at 4 o'clock, we're going to talk about fleet credit cards, cash credit cards, how you get Visa cards, how you get MasterCards, how you get auto financing based only on your business credit quality. Pyramid scheme. That's awesome. What are you talking about, pyramid scheme? So if you honestly are spouting off with crazy things that you know nothing about, like pyramid scheme, do me a favor. Go to creditsuite.com/legit. And at creditsuite.com/legit, you'll see what all the experts have to say. Vendor accounts, what type of finance charges should we be aware of, especially net 60? It really varies. Some sources don't charge any kind of finance charges whatsoever. Okay, some other sources have pretty minor finance charges. So to me, in building vendor accounts, I've never seen their finance charges be something to balk at. Never be a reason that you wouldn't want to do this. And again, listen, 90% of the people out there, I follow and watch all your videos daily. Thank you very much. You're getting credit. It doesn't matter with finance charge. You're right about that. Hey there, quick question. Would wanna did this? Well, I'm not sure what that is. But guys, listen, 90% of entrepreneurs don't know anything about business credit. So we always have naysayers, right? That just don't know any better. And because they haven't done their research, and that's okay. We created a page just for those naysayers. If you go to creditsuite.com/legit, then what you're going to find is you're going to find what experts have to say about business credit. Just if you don't know any better, this could help you. SBA. How to build your business credit, how to manage it, entrepreneur, okay, why your loan was rejected because you don't have business credit, Experian, how separating your business credit from your personal credit can help, Inc. Magazine, the steps to build your business credit score, NASDAQ, your small business should have its own business credit score, Forbes, 3 ways to better understand your business credit score, okay, Score, what can you do to build strong business credit profile? And somebody says, it's always better to apply by phone or web. I'll answer that in a second. Afternoon, looking forward to partnership with Credit Suite. Looking forward to working with you as well. USA Today, QuickBooks, Okay, Investopedia. So look, if you have credit, go to creditsuite.com/legit. It'll at least get you information on what the experts say. And if you're trying to build your business on your personal credit, you're doing it all wrong. I think I have the basics and I'm ready to give it a try. I've been watching you for months. Well, good. It only matters if you take action. How often is your software updated to current standards? It's updated all the time. Our software is the most up-to-date software that you're going to find. Our development team works basically all the time. We're constantly coming up with new rollouts and updates, even including this month. And if you want to see our website, then go to creditsuite.com/consult. We'll show you how we build business credit. Okay, I'm not here to pitch you on anything, but we can definitely do that. Somebody else asked a question, which I actually just forgot what the question was, and I was going to make sure I answered that question. But anyways, if you have another question, go ahead and type it in. So if you don't have a question, I'm going to wrap this up. Remember, creditsuite.com/legit. If you have any questions on the legitimacy of business credit, that can help you. creditsuite.com/consult. If you want to schedule some time to talk with us more, we'll even give you a free copy of your credit safe credit report. creditsuite.com/periscope for a free guide on building business credit. What's the best path for FedEx trucks? Well, you're not going to get business credit financing based on vehicle trucks. You can get Ford and GMC. After you have about 15 trades, 10 to 15, which we'll talk about next week, you can get commercial vehicle financing. So if you're buying a commercial vehicle from Ford or GM, you can get that with about 10 to 15 trades, no personal guarantee or no personal credit check. Otherwise, there's business financing you can get for that. It's better to apply by phone or online. That was the question. Thank you for that. It depends. It really depends on the source. Some are done either way. So Granger, for example, you have to apply by phone. Uline, Quill, Seton, they can all be done online. So it depends on the actual source. If the source will not let you submit the application without a social, you have to call them or fax them an application. Gimplers requires a faxed application. So they're all different. Some you have to call, some you have to fax, some you have to apply online. But if they make you provide a social, fax an app or call them to apply. Do not give them the social. And some of them won't do that. Is it best to do on your own or only through a company? And Granger reports twice, 1,000. Granger reports twice on your credit report. Well, that's awesome. But you are right about and somebody else just asked me that other question again because it went by too fast. Granger is notorious for giving $1,000 credit lines to any business with a heartbeat. I mean, if your business has been open, they're going to give you a credit line. They gave us the highest credit line as a starter vendor, $1,000. They're pretty notorious, but they shouldn't be reporting twice. If they are, hey, if you're paying the bill, great. Then you're getting extra credit for that. So it's only going to help you by having Granger on there. And somebody else asked a question too, if you don't mind typing that in. Me 1K, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. They approve pretty much everybody for $1,000 credit line, which is funny because Gimplers will deny you for $200 while Granger approves you for $1,000. Thanks, twice a year they report. Granger, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Granger reports monthly, but I will check on that right now to find out. And what our sources do is our sources go and contact these, and just so you know, I'll take you through. This is our finance suite. This is how we help our customers build business credit. So somebody just came in and said, well, I think Granger only reports, I think, twice a year. I'm pretty sure that they actually report monthly, and I think it's like the third week of the month Granger reports or something weird. These are starter vendors. You can see they're grayed out because I don't have, according to this system, what's needed to apply yet because I haven't looked. But I will look at Granger here. Let me look at our tier 2. I think it might be in tier 2. But Granger's pretty notorious. Oh, there they are. I just saw them and I just missed them. Granger's pretty notorious for giving you a high $1,000 limit pretty quick. And here we go. And this is what's nice about our finance suite is we map out who they report to. We map out the terms, how to get approved. So you know this source you have to call, for example. And then we give you all the information. For less than $1,000 credit line, they'll pretty much approve everyone with a business license. If you want more than $1,000, second Saturday of every month. That's right. There it is. So they report the second Saturday of every month. Brass tacks, what's the cost of our finance suite? The price varies. And I'm not going to, try and at the top we've got pricing options. We have two different ways you can do business with us. You can either enroll to build your own business credit and get financing, or you can enroll to be a partner and sell it. We have a white label program where you can sell business credit financing and get paid really good. You decide the sales price. We do all the servicing, the software, and all that stuff for you. So you have a few different options, but I can tell you that it's cheaper to work with us than usually to try to do it on your own, because we give you free 411 listing. We give you free Experience Smart Business Access so you can monitor your accounts in real time, and we also give you we help you set up your DUNS for free, so you don't have to pay for the D&B credit builder, so it saves you a ton of money. But most importantly, it's not about money, it's about time. We'll take somebody that'll take a 2 to 3 year building process and condense it down to about 3 to 6 months. Do you have to be certified to sell? No, you don't, because on the funding side we have the licenses and you're only selling software, so you don't. So that's what's nice about our system, is you can offer business credit financing. We have what's needed, you don't need it, and you're selling software, so you don't have any license requirements or anything like that. Am I a Trump supporter? I have no comment on that. I stay neutral, but just so you know, I'm actually independent. I'm not Republican or Democrat. So that being said, I will not speak to whether I'm a Trump supporter or not. All kinds of crazy things are going there, but I try to keep my political views out of this, just to say that. Got it. That's a good deal. Yeah. All right. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Who cares? Oh, that's a good point. Who cares? I just try to keep my political views out of this stuff, guys. I'm just here to educate, not to talk politics. Do you tell people you're selling funding or software as an affiliate? Get with us, creditsuite.com/consult, and we'll talk to you more about it. The answer is that you're showing them what they're buying. So just like I went through this, we're actually teaching you to do a demo presentation or go through to present, and you're selling them a solution to help them step by step build business credit and get financing. That's how it's presented. But again, if you're enrolling with us as a partner, we give you all the training you need to know to price it, to sell. Obviously, we've got a lot of experience in it, so we know exactly how to do it. And we've got, I don't know, a couple thousand partners out there that we've helped put in space of offering business credit financing. So we know what works, how to get you trained, and how to get you successful. So that being said, everybody, I'm going to wrap this up. We mapped out how to get store credit. We talked about a lot of stuff before that, the benefits, the steps. You can feel free to go to creditsuite.com/scope for all of our previous scopes, creditsuite.com/periscope for a free 4-step guide on building business credit. And if you have questions, if you want to know more about working with us or just general business credit questions on being a partner, any of those things, go to creditsuite.com/consult. Schedule a consultation with our team. We'll give you a free copy of your credit safe report, and we'll answer any questions you have. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks everybody very much for attending. I'll see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock when we get into the best part of business credit. We talk about fleet credit cards and cash credit cards, Visa cards, MasterCards, how to get auto financing, vehicle financing without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern here on Periscope. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.